Welcome to Unsubscribe. I'm your host, Avani Jain. In this podcast, I'm going to show you how to intentionally opt out of anything that's robbing you of your energy, freedom, joy, and peace of mind. It's time to let it all go, finally, so that you can clear your mental inboxes and make space to subscribe to a life that truly lights your soul. If you're ready, hop in. We are embarking on the transformation of a lifetime. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Unsubscribe. Today, we are going into part 2 of big life upgrades. If you missed the last episode, I recommend first that you check it out, but it's all about things that I've been learning and implementing and experimenting with in the last few months while I was on my podcast sabbatical. I took a break for 3 months, and honestly, it was the best thing ever. I'm so grateful that I did because there's just been so many ideas that have been incubating, but I, of course, wanted to catch up and share what's been working really well. What are the major upgrades that have felt so good in this era of life? And in the first part of this series, I talked about big life upgrades and went deep. So, highly recommend, like I said, listening to that. And today we're going to be talking about big home upgrades. What I've realized as I get older, as I spend time in my home, I want it to be really vibey. I want it to feel so cozy and so good. In fact, someone who works with us and comes into our house regularly, just yesterday, he told me something that I think is the best compliment ever. He said, "Your house is very zen. Like, whenever I come here, I'm just so calm and at peace, and it feels so good to be here." And I was just so excited to hear that and felt like, wow, I'm doing something right in setting the vibes in my home. Yes, it's chaotic. Yes, we have people going in and out often and people that are helping us. And it's just wonderful to have that help and support, but it's rarely empty and quiet these days. And so knowing that even though it feels at times chaotic, there is this underlying feeling of zen and peace and calm and anchoring feels so exciting to know that that is possible. We can live in a place where the world around us is swarming and stirring and crazy, but we can create calm and grounding within us. And for me, that starts within our home. So, a few things that I've been doing regularly, I wanted to share with you in creating this really wonderful, grounded, zen, vibey space that we live in and we work in. We do everything here. Honestly, we work here, we live here, we work out here, we eat here, we entertain here. Like, this is where we are. It's our home, and so having it have the right vibrations is so important. So, one of the things that I'm always doing is a regular home reset. So, this is something I do often just a few minutes a day, maybe in the morning or the evening when I have some time. And I am sending things home to where they belong. While we're living our lives, often just objects pop up and show up in the central area of our house, which is our kitchen and living area. And so every few weeks, I'll have random things that I'm looking at, which is like, um, some new socks that we got on Amazon, or a chest strap for heart rate monitor that's on the countertop, a bunch of sunglasses, some new pens or some old pens, and the mail that we didn't open yet, all this random stuff. And it's not in its home. We have a home for everything in this house. And I often find myself realizing that, oh, it looks cluttered, it feels chaotic because I haven't taken time to send things home. So I'm sending the mail to its home. A lot of the time that means opening it and figuring out what to shred and what to keep and what to discard. I'm sending the heart rate monitor home and putting it downstairs in the gym. I'm sending the shoes or the socks or whatever's on the countertop home. Maybe it needs to be put away in someone's closet or washed. I'm sending all of these things home to create a clean slate. And I don't do this to zero or like all the way every single day. I'm just doing a little bit every day. And oftentimes in a day or two, it's clear, it's organized, it's nice, and I don't know, I feel like I can think again. It's reset. So I recommend creating that practice for yourself. Maybe bring your partner into the mix and say, this is what we do a few minutes every day is we send things home to make them feel a little bit more organized and less cluttered. And when you have a space that feels good, your mind feels good. You just feel at ease. And for me, I feel like myself again. The other thing that I do I would say I do this quarterly, is I tackle problem areas in my house. So I'm going through my entire home and I'm picking up on the areas where it feels like it's a mess. There's a drawer that's the catch-all drawer that just gets messy all the time, or this area isn't utilized properly. We had our wrapping paper and stuff in our laundry room and it was just not fitting well. I hated grabbing stuff to wrap gifts from there. It didn't work. And so I will note down, I'll go through the house and I'll note down, these are all the problem areas. Maybe it's by room or by area of the house. And one by one, I will go through each problem area and organize it, discard what I don't need anymore, get little drawer organizers where needed, drawer separators, whatever is needed. The other day we had to reorganize our utensil drawer and we were using two different organizers to put them all in their places. And we just got another set of utensils and it wasn't working. I was like, let's get rid of all of this and let's start out with an actual organizer that fits the dimensions of our space. And so we did that and it just feels so much better that way. So I will invest from time to time when I feel inspired, invest my energy, invest my time in, and maybe even invest in a new drawer organizer to reorganize those problem areas, or discard or go through my closet, get rid of clothes that don't fit me. Tackle the problem areas one by one when you have the energy, and you'll start to feel like your home just feels lighter. It feels more spacious. It feels more just at ease. And this is kind of the basics. It's how we move the physical things around our home to create new energy, create a flow. And of course, sometimes when we discard things that we don't like, or when we are clearing out space, we do have the chance to bring in some new ideas, some new objects. And I do my best to be mindful of this, because at any point in time, we can order something on Amazon and it just arrives at the doorstep. It's so easy to buy things these days. And at the same time, I'm grateful I can buy things that make my space feel really wonderful, make it more functional, make it more beautiful, make it a place where I want to spend a lot of time. And so I wanted to share some of those products with you. Some of these are available on Amazon, some aren't. So I'll just kind of go through it one by one, and just a few things that I feel like I've brought into my space and they just make it magical. So the first thing is plant uplights and a smart plug. We have a bunch of plants in our house and some of them are really large. And I went to a friend's place recently and I was obsessed. They had these beautiful uplights. It was evening time. The plants looked really beautiful. Even at night, you couldn't see the green as much because it was getting darker, but there was this tiny light at the bottom that illuminated that space. And that was the vibe lighting of the space. They didn't have the big lights on. They had this mood lighting, and the plant uplights really helped with that and created beautiful shadows on the walls. So I was like, okay, I need to do this. So I got some really cool plant uplights and integrated them with a smart plug and put them on my Apple HomeKit. So every day at 7 o'clock or whenever the sun sets, these plant uplights turn on and illuminate our space. And then our under cabinet lights turn on. I think not at 7. Maybe they turn on. Yeah, it is at 7. They turn on at that time. And we have this really wonderful evening mood lighting, and it just feels incredible. I can't wait to get another big plant so I can use my second plant uplight. It's the best. And it's from Amazon. I will share a little link in the show notes so you can grab these. The next item is not on Amazon. It's the RO box. I love this. It is literally a box where you can put your phone in and plug it into charge, and it is tracking your time that you're spending off of your phone, tracking time you're living your life at dinner with family, with friends, or whatever, and you're off your phone. You're not scrolling. It's just such a great trick for me to not get sucked into the circuit, not to be plugged in all the time. So both Tashar and I have our RO app on our phone, and when we put our phones in the box, it starts to track time, and we can compete to see who has the most RO time on their phone at the end of the week, which is so fun. And it helps us achieve what we want in our lives, which is more peace, more calm, less anxiety, less craziness, less stress. And the RO box is such a great tool for that. You can get it at the RO website. I don't think it's available on Amazon. Yeah, it's www.goro.com. So You can go download the app and then order it, or you can gift it to someone too, which is great. It's game changing for us, and we just love having the little element of gamification to create more calm and peace in our lives and in our home. The next thing I got maybe a few months ago, which is a candle lamp. If you don't have a candle lamp, I thought this was weird when I first heard of it. It's a lamp, it's a tiny little lamp that heats up a candle that you set under it, and then you can have the scent of the candle without having a flame. I thought it was such a weird concept until I started using it. I have mine by my bedside, and it first gets to light this candle or melt this candle. And I get this smell, the lavender smell, because I love lavender candles in my bedroom before I go to sleep. And the lamp is turning on, which gives me mood lighting again in my room. I don't need to use the big lights, and puts me in this like really zen state for getting ready for bed. And I can use it to read too. It's pretty bright. I love my candle lamp. I'm just so glad that lamps like this exist in the world. And I thought it was extra. I thought it was bougie, and maybe it is. Probably it is, right? But it's kind of been the best thing. And I highly recommend getting one if you want to get something fun to treat yourself. And if you love candles too, it's a great purchase and a great gift. The next thing is a little bit more functional, utilitarian, and it is a valet rod. I had never heard of this before. It is a little rod that slides out in your closet. You can mount it anywhere, even in a laundry room, in a closet, and you can hang hangers on it. And I love this for staging outfits. Typically, I pick out Tushar's outfit or even my outfit the day before an event, or for packing, I put them out when I know I really want him to wear this specific combination of clothing. It's mostly for Tushar. And I always wanted a place where I could hang his hangers, and we don't have a good place where I can just hang a few hangers that's easy and it's front and center. And the valet rod solved that problem for us. It's like this $12 thing that you screw into a wall, or we screwed it into the side of our shelves, and it pulls out and then it pushes back in too. So it can be out of the way when you're not using it. The coolest thing ever. I feel like such an adult buying a valet rod and having and using a valet rod, but I'm very, very glad I did, because it's been one of the best things that we added to our closet lately. And so those are just a few things that we have purchased for our home recently that we absolutely love. And like I said, you can make space for these once you are tackling your problem areas, and then allow intentional objects to come into your home, objects that create a vibe or a mood for you, objects that make life easier for you. And my recommendation is not to just go buy things all the time, but to think about what in your space feels like it could be elevated, and spend some time doing research. I love to look on Pinterest. I love to look on TikTok and get ideas. And then when it feels like, yes, that's the right thing, then I'll purchase it. Because for me, not only is it something that maybe can be used, but it's an investment in creating a space that feels like I can walk into it and be like, and just relax and feel anchored and grounded. And it has done wonders for myself, for Tushar, for the people that are in and out of our house all the time, for family that visits. It's a sanctuary for us. And creating a home that is your safe place, that is your place of peace, is incredible. And I think everyone deserves that. Everyone can create that. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be a big, overwhelming task. It can be small, tiny steps, even like a tiny home reset every single day for a few minutes that can help you create that space of calm and of peace. So I hope these ideas were helpful. And if you try them out, let me know. I also want to hear your ideas for big home upgrades. If you have any, DM me on Instagram anytime at Avani Jain. And thank you for listening. I'll see you in part 3, which is all about big work upgrades. I'll talk to y'all soon.